As 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is trying to get healthy and ready to go against the Bengals, Steve Young went on KNBR to talk about the quarterback's performance against the Vikings and how he rebounded after that poor game against the Browns. Take a listen to what Steve Young had to say about Brock Purdy versus the Vikings right here.
Guess what? If this team's going to win a Super Bowl, that's who this team needs to be. Whether you score 30 or score 20, 26, whatever it is, they have to dominate up front because that's who they were built to be. That's who they have been. And I'm 100% in agreement with you. If they can't get back to that, then I'm not saying it's impossible to win. It becomes tougher. But when you say through all your actions, this is who we want to be. We want to be led by our defensive line. We want to be deep. We want to be nasty. We want to get to the quarterback. And you don't do it, you have issues.
And it feeds both directions, right? Because it feeds, if you're not getting that, then you're not getting the ball back. You're not handing it back to the offense as much and as readily. And so that puts two things on the offense. They have to be more efficient because they're not getting the ball back as much. And because Brock is not that guy that's going to roll out and remember 60 yards down Jalen Hurts or Mahomes or that's the game today, then he's going to have to be that much more efficient and the extra plays and the extra laps to get there. So that offense probably in the end, especially in the biggest games, probably needs the ball back a couple more times to get done what they want to get done. So it's, you got a theme. And what did I say up front? Figure it out.
Yep. No, absolutely. Let me ask you about Purdy, because I actually thought he played really well, except for the one pick was inexplicable. I have no idea. And Greg Cosell kind of explained it to us, how the receiver Jennings got pushed out a little bit further than maybe he wanted to and couldn't get back to exactly where he needed to be. Still, if you're Purdy, you can't throw it that far inside. The other interception, look, the time's running out. You're trying to make a play, trying to make something happen. That one doesn't really hit me all that much. But other than that, I mean, he threw the ball really well, made he's really good on that in cut.
I sometimes you have to just step back and say this kid's not even played a whole season of games.
Yeah.
And he's showing up every week and playing really well. Just think about just efficiency and the mistakes are, like you said, it's not a 4-interception game. It's not like it's a disaster. There's the Jennings ball, and I think Mr. Cosell is actually right? Yep. Because he's saying there's a timing thing.
Yep.
One thing about Brock does not wait. The ball is coming out. And it's and I love the I always say anticipatory throwing. The ball's coming out and the guy hasn't broken yet. So every once in a while, when you're not on the same page and you don't get the break when you thought, you end up throwing it right to the safety because whether Juwanda's later or whether it was, he went an extra step or something, you could say the ball came out. He thought he would meet the ball and it didn't happen. Yeah. So that's on him. That's the job. You can't say, where are you, bro? I thought you were coming in. That is not the way to look at it. Brock, and I'm sure he will say that. It's no, that's on me. I don't know, or on me on getting you and I on the same page, but in the end, it's on me. I can't throw that ball and then say, "Oh, where were you?" Because that you want to lose people in the huddle. Go back to the huddle and go, "Where were you, bro?" Interception.
Where were you?
Yeah,
hey,
where were you? The ball was perfect.
You've said a lot of things I remember over the course of our conversations together. The one I think I remember the most, and I appreciate the most from a teammate. Is once that ball leaves my hands, it's on me. Period. I go, if you wanted to, I remember you telling me, if I want to go talk it out with the receiver in the locker room, I'll go do that. We'll have it out. We'll say where the hell I can say where the hell were you in the locker room to him. But when somebody asks me about it or I'm in front of a microphone, that's me. It leaves my hands. It is on me, period. And that has always stuck with me, that the more you do that, the more everyone wants to feel like, hey, whatever happened was my fault. I could have done better. And I've always appreciated that. But that stuck with me.
If you don't, you're dead. You're dead as a quarterback. And you can – remember, I always tell you, go to postgame when they ask the losing quarterback what happened. And if he starts to talk about, the ball was good, forget it.
Yep.
How many times I do this all the time, but I love it. I so much when I remember sitting on the bench of the game, especially in Candlestick, when something had gone wrong, and I knew, and that was a perfect ball, but big fat defensive lineman put his hand up and blocked, and then went up in the air. I was like, and I so much wanted to get the PA announcer, and just take the mic, just give me the mic for just a couple seconds, and I'd be like, excuse me, everybody, that was a perfect pass. Perfect timing. The big fat defensive lineman put his hand up inadvertently and tipped it up in the air and ruined everything. Thank you.
Carry on.
Carry on. Carry on, everyone. you want so bad to do that, but that's death. That is death. And so, yeah, that's that first one. But the second one, and again, you could see at the end of games, like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and shedding linemen, and like I loved Brock's scramble. Like that was nifty. Like he can still get a lot of those things done, even though he's not, as big and strong, like all those things we talk about, that he can still get stuff done. So let's just figure it out. Yep. And we got pruned back. This has been rough, and now we get a challenge of another desperate team that shows up that doesn't think they're 3-3. And the thing I think about this part of the season, the Halloween, the Tom Tolbert section of the NFL schedule.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
This is your part of this is the Tom Tolbert section of
exactly
that what's happening is things are gelling. Where everyone's kind of figuring out who we are and how good we are. And that's why these games are, like, for the Cincinnati Bengals, this is that defining game. Come to San Francisco. We think we're pretty good. We think we had a terrible start. It was the preseason, essentially, September. And now we're gonna show you who we are. And so that's what's coming. And we better figure it out.
I don't know. Scary playing against a black and orange team right before Halloween.
Before things, yeah, see?
A little scary.
And obviously, because Brock Purdy is in the concussion protocol and we're not quite sure yet if he will play against the Bengals, Steve Young also offers up his thoughts on Sam Darnold, with the potential that Sam Darnold could get the start this Sunday.
What do you expect from Sam Darnold?
Sam, I kind of feel like Kyle feels. Like I watched him, and I always thought he was a good player. That doesn't mean that I absolve him of the mess in New York, and I don't absolve him of some of the messes in Carolina. Now, Carolina is a place at the time which would probably be my 30th or 32nd place in the league where I'd want to be as a quarterback. Again, not an excuse, but I saw things that he did that told me that he sent the flares up to me, even in New York. Like I'm a good player. I don't want a lot of help. I'm screwing it up. I'm young. But I'm sending you flares to let you know that I can figure this game out. So I've always felt that about Sam. And when he was freed up and he went to find a team, and he called the 49ers and said, "Look, I'm coming." And they said, "Well, we can't afford you." I said, "Well, yes, you can. I can decide that." and Sam decides for the 49ers what works, because I'm coming, because I'm sick of being places where I don't get the help that I need. And I can see in San Francisco, of all places in the league, this is where I can get the help. And I'll even sit around if I need to try to be in that kind of a place. So I love that about Sam. He took the pay cut. He came, the attitude, and he has impressed. No one, don't worry. I'm not saying anything other than what I'm saying about Sam. Sam has impressed. And in that way, if Sam plays, I think there's a lot of confidence that by the end of, now maybe one game is not enough to show that, or maybe things go haywire, but if he had 10 games, I think you would say, "Steve, you're right. You're right. I think that, and he is getting more help, and he is capable of way more than I thought." And what that ceiling is, we don't know. But we talk about big, strong guys running around, throwing it all over the field. He can be that guy.
And look, I think right before Halloween, seeing ghosts isn't such a bad thing.
You are. When you're alone without, I need the ballast of the cokes.
Yeah,
man.
the guardrails are off. I'm sorry. It's just,
you and I alone is dangerous.
it is very, very, very,
What did
very
you think
dangerous.
about what Steve Young had to say on both Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold? And are you prepared for Sam Darnold to potentially start in what 49ers Fred Warner has called a must-win game? I don't know if I am. I would like to see Brock Purdy go out there and play if he can, but that remains to be seen. Great interview by KNBR with Steve Young. Let me know what you guys thought about what he had to say on all of it. Let me know in the comments below, and check out the full interview on KNBR in the link in the bio. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.